He is big news, Paul Hughes, and he is kind enough to join us right now. There he is, Paul Hughes in the house. Congratulations, my friend. Biggest night, biggest fight, biggest win of your career, 48 hours later. Has it sunk in yet?
I don't think it's quite sunk in, to be honest. Usually it takes me like a good night or two sleep for it to sink in. I'm still like kind of high on adrenaline, so I'm not quite there. I'm still kind of in a haze, but yeah, it feels good, bro. It feels good.
That's a good kind of haze. That's the haze I bet you dream of as a fighter. I was talking to your manager, Tim Simpson, yesterday as we were trying to find you to confirm your presence on today's show. And he's like, the Irish love to party. They like a drink or two. And in Riyadh, you can't have a drink. So perhaps a couple of drinks were had once you left.
Couple of full fat cokes in Riyadh, that was it. High on sugar, just. I'm actually in Dubai here at the minute, so I'll have a couple of pints over the next couple of days, I'm sure, to make up for it.
Love it. So let's go back to when this was announced, because I saw the comments from Dan Hardy, who said when he initially heard that this was the plan, all right, yeah, I love it, but is it a little too soon for Paul? We got him in the tournament coming up. Maybe let's get him a nice win, 2-0, go into the tournament. Was this something you pushed for? Was it something they brought to your attention? Initially, how did it all come about?
This is the AJ fight, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you mentioned the season there. I got confused. Yeah, it came about. It was just a random text, Ariel, from Mike Hogan himself to see if I was available. Obviously, this pay-per-view was coming up and they needed to get big names on there and big fights. I was available. I was, of course, telling everybody, yourself included, on your show in New York, that I wanted to fight the best guys. And AJ was available, so that was the fight that they presented to us. Of course, that's exactly what we wanted, so it was a no-brainer to sign that, and I think it paid off well.
Did you feel like obviously you're confident, obviously you believe in yourself, that's very clear. And I wouldn't suggest it was one-sided because it was a hard-fought victory, and I know you were close to stopping him in the first. But in terms of your belief, your confidence heading into the fight, especially as you got closer, as you were there in Riyadh, did you have a strong sense that this would be a good night at the office for you?
Yes and no. I'm always confident in my abilities. I'm always confident that I can just fight my heart out. I didn't have the best camp, and I'm not gonna lie, that added to the nerves, it added to the pressure. Usually, you can out-train nerves and pressure in some regard, but I didn't have the best camp and I couldn't out-train that at times. So when it got to fight week, I definitely felt the pressure. Now, I am very good at flipping the switch when it gets to that, I guess, last 5 days when you're over and you're doing the thing. I was always confident that I'm always confident that when the cage door closes, regardless of what has happened in the build-up, you put me in against anyone at my weight in the world, I'm confident that I win that fight every time. Like, I genuinely have that confidence and belief in myself. I believe just in my instincts. I believe in my fighting instincts to win fights. So when it got then to fight day, it was just like, no, remember who you are. You're the man. You called for this. Time to prove it.
What was wrong with this training camp? What happened?
I'll not get into specifics. I'll not get into specifics, to be honest, Ariel.
Okay. But, can I ask, was it like injury stuff or was it personal stuff?
Both.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
As to why I don't want to get into it. But look, it happens to us all. We must, as I talked about with my team after, like, this truly is what separates the best, is being able to perform on nights of adversity and not perform when you're not at 100% and still pull it out of the bag and still go in there, biggest step up of my career, and smash it out of the park.
Just curious, last thing on this, to the point where you thought you might not fight?
Nah, I was always going to fight.
Okay. And luckily for you, you did, because what a performance. And you know what I loved, especially early on, and we saw it throughout the fight, you clearly did your homework, because it seemed like you were timing that knee time and again. Like, it was, you almost got him a couple times. You saw that beforehand as you were planning.
Ariel, I had a full YouTube episode scheduled, edited, ready to post for my post-fight interview. I was ready to say, I knocked him out with the right knee. Everybody go look at my YouTube right now, because I've just posted a video breaking down exactly how I'm going to knock him out. Unfortunately, I didn't get the knockout with it, but as you're playing the clips there, oh my God, it got so close so many times. Now I did catch him with it, with the flying knee, which whenever I dropped him straight after that, but there was one knee in that first round, Ariel, that would have killed him. It just zoomed past his face. And I remember being in the cage and going, oh, that was so close. Like I just felt it whiz past, but look, I got close. As I said to you about my fighting instincts, I really, really trusted myself and my instincts. And yeah, I was able to find every single shot that we looked for, to be honest.
How much more time do you think you needed in the first?
I think he was done.
You think
I
so?
think he was holding on. I just broke the grip of his hands and I was just about to posture and start landing the strikes. He was done. It was 100% done. His eyes rolled to the back of his head. He still wasn't right coming out in the next round. Like, so, should have got him out of there. Should have got him out of there.
Your thoughts when you hear one judge scored it for him in that moment?
That's madness. Like, it's madness. I don't even know where to begin there. I mean, sure, we see this every single weekend in
Yeah.
MMA with like it's no different. There's no point in me starting this big whole shenanigans. It is what it is. MMA judging just unfortunately is just not incredible, you know.
But does your heart sink at that in that moment? I mean, it's all happening fast. They're reading the scorecards, but like I couldn't believe it.
Well, look, the energy of everyone I was talking to, people were congratulating my coaches, they were congratulating me. So I was like, oh, I've clearly won this. Like, I mean, there's no question here. And then I heard the split and I thought they were gonna. When I heard the split, I looked down at the color of my gloves, and it gave me like a flashback to whenever I fought Jordan Vucenic the first time, and they robbed me of that. And I remember looking at the gloves, seeing red, and they said in the blue corner, and I thought it was happening again.
Oh no.
You know, but thankfully it didn't.
You were fired up. I loved it. Like even before you got a chance to actually speak into the microphone, we could hear you through the camera. You were so fired up. What was the feeling in that moment? What were the emotions? Why were you so amped? Why were you so excited? The victory is big, but like it felt like you just couldn't wait to get stuff off your chest.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess it was a bit of release from the camp. You know, as mentioned, wasn't the best. Definitely was not the best. I mean, I was gassed after the first round. I mean, we can get into that after, but I was completely gassed and I never get tired. It was a release of emotion and then also a realization you've done it. Like you've shocked the world. Like I do remember waking up on fight day and going, you're fighting AJ McKee tonight. Holy shit. Like this is massive. This is massive. And then it was just that moment was like, you have done it. Everything that you've said in this build up, everything that you've said this week has happened. You're going to shock the world. And then, yeah, that's what I done. So it felt good, man. It felt good. It feels like I've almost made it, you know?
When you say almost made it, why do you say almost?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm only starting, you
Yeah.
know? I'm only obviously very big fights on the horizon there. But in terms of made it on the world stage, you know, this is the first one for me on the big stage.
Difference in terms of how you felt leading up to the debut in Dublin as opposed to this one?
Definitely a higher magnitude fight, higher pressure in all facets. And then, as mentioned, the camp,
Yeah.
it was definitely a different build up, you know?
The reason I asked that is because I would imagine your debut major promotion very close to home would bring maybe even more anxiety, more pressure, but you felt like this one was greater.
This was definitely greater, and it was the caliber of the opponent, the size of the card, the production, everything behind it, and a Francis Ngannou pay-per-view, you know. And with my fight, it probably was one of the most hyped of the night. So, yeah, look, out of pressure, but I delivered.
You mentioned gassed after the first round. Why?
Because the cut was not ideal, just wasn't. I don't get tired. Like I'm always the fittest guy in the room. And of yes, albeit the end of the first round was intense and it was hard scrambles, almost knocked him out. Like it was intense, but I remember standing up for the second round and going, "Oh my God, you're so tired." And I remember just looking and AJ McKee's in front of me and I'm going, I have to fight him for another 2 rounds. And then I was like, well, fuck it. Big down, let's go.
Have you ever felt like that before?
Uh, Only once, and it was actually the same fight I mentioned earlier, the
Okay.
Vucenic first fight. That was the only time I felt like that.
So what did you do?
For similar reasons. Sorry to cut you off. For similar reasons.
So what do you do? Like you have 10 more minutes against this guy, supreme athlete. Where where do you find the strength? And look that good. I mean, the boxing was phenomenal.
It Just years and years of hard work. You can just deep killer instinct and fighting ability. Like I just have that dog in me. I really just do. I can rely on that, and it can get me through these fights if all else fails. And that's what got me through it. It was still a high enough pace fight. Yes, I got some moments where I was able to get my rests whenever AJ was shooting on me and putting that wrestling pressure. But I'm also very, very good at recovering when I can in fights. I just had to dig deep, Ariel. It was hard. It was hard. Like I have a very good game face. Nobody really noticed, but I tell you what, I had to dig deep.
Um, how bad was the cut, like compared to your previous ones?
It The actual last bit of the cut usually is always around the same because I am very disciplined when it comes. I am very disciplined when it comes to all of that. It's more so how I entered fight week. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's more how I entered into the week, where I felt really the detriment.
By the way,
But
just
here, look, I don't want to play too much into this. It is what it is.
no, no,
Like,
I get it. But these
there's fighter happens all the time. Like,
for sure. No, but I mean, you won, so it's not like you're making excuses after a loss. But it's always interesting to know what you had to overcome and get through to get to the victory. I'm just curious, the experience fighting in Riyadh. What was that like for you? First time? Have you ever been there before? I know it's first time fighting there, but ever been there prior?
never been there before. Had a great experience. We did our initial face-offs the first night on the Wednesday. We went to some old castle where I think Saudi was formed by the Saud family, and that area was incredible, like properly mind blowing. So that was probably the highlight of the trip for me. Other than that, it's more so media obligations the whole time. You're not really out and about.
Right.
So it was a very good experience. The arena was fantastic. Just the whole production, the press conference, everything they done was absolutely top tier. We were treated so well throughout the week. So fantastic experience all around.
I was discussing with Tim, also debating with your friend and the man who is, I think, the unofficial president of the Paul Hughes fan club, Pete Carroll, who's been talking about you for years and years. What a story he wrote on you and your journey on our new website, uncrown.com. And shout out to Claire Hughes. My daughter's name is Claire, but with the I. I've never seen it spelt that way. Clare. Your mother, of course. She seems like a lovely lady.
Oh, she's a saint, and she's 100% watching this right now. So, hello, mom.
Hello, Claire. Beautiful name. I love it. That's my daughter's name. It's a wonderful name, and I love the whole story. Really, PT did a phenomenal job, and he's done a phenomenal job covering you over the years. So shout out to him
Yeah,
for that.
shout out to Pete. What a guy. And here, I also did mention congratulations on the new platform. All of this is all fantastic. And getting all the guys on with you, all your mates. That's something I find that I really, really look at something like that and find inspiration because that's the kind of values and principles I like to go with in my life is bringing people along with you. So I really like what you've done there. I think that's incredible. It just is a testament to your character as well. So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this entire whole new platform.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. The reason I brought that up was there's an interesting, and it's a good dilemma, but there's an interesting dilemma in front of you now because I understand the tournament's great and there's a massive pot at the end of that rainbow. But you seem very fired up about fighting Usman Nurmagomedov, and you laid it out perfectly. You know, Ireland versus Dagestan 2. There's the offer to Conor to come in your corner, all that stuff. Like, you can't script a better story if you're the PFL or Bellator. And so right now, 2 days later, what are you leaning towards? And can you get both done? Is it possible to get that fight and then go into the tournament? What are we thinking?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't rule either of them out. I definitely wouldn't rule the season out as well. I mean, that would be fantastic to go get a Bellator belt and then go to get a PFL belt. That would be quite something. I mean, as you know, as I talked to you about whenever I was on your show live in New York, I didn't tell you about it,
You
but that's
hinted
who
at it. Yes.
I was referring to Usman. I've wanted to fight him for some time. I always knew when I was coming into this organization that that would be a huge fight, and he, of course, was the champion. And look, I mean, to me, it's completely a no-brainer. I mean, to do that in Dubai or in Belfast is one of the biggest fights that the entire PFL Bellator can do. I mean, you see already see the traction that it's doing online. It's gonna be a huge fight, like.
So if you had to pick between one or the other, if you had to pick either, all right, you got to commit to the tournament or you're going for this title fight against Usman, what are you leaning towards?
Honestly, I mean, I think I'm in an all right position after that performance with AJ to, I mean, I could do both. Like,
Okay.
if I could, I could maybe do both. Like, it depends what PFL Bellator want to do with me, of course. The Usman's fight's massive. At the end of the day, who in the right mind doesn't want to make that fight right now after what happened Saturday night, after what is happening on social media? So I guess we'll just have to see.
Um, do you know if the brass is interested in this? Did they say anything to you afterwards?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure exactly what people want. I just know what I want next. It's look, as I said there, I'm here for the big fights. I'm here for the high pressure. I'm here to put it on entertaining fights, which I hope I did on Saturday, and I'm here to make money. So we'll see what happens.
Any word from him or his team? Do you know if he's interested? Do you know if he saw what you did on Saturday or said?
Um, I don't know if there's anything being directly from Usman. I know that he was watching and he said that he'll fight the winner. On pre-fight, I know that Khabib had reshared a video of myself yesterday coming out of the cage, or sorry, on the way to the presser, talking about or basically calling Usman out, and he shared it and tagged Usman saying, I guess something like, "You've got someone next," or I don't
Okay.
know the Russian, but it's just an Instagram translation. It was like, "He's next, let's go," or something. So I mean, looks pretty clear to me that that's
Gosh,
going down.
that would be incredible. And you think Connor in your corner would be a possibility? Is there an arena big enough for all these characters?
I mean, could you imagine it?
Oh
It
my
would be
God.
incredible. It would be incredible. I mean, you would need 200 extra security guards on that, 100%. But I mean, could you imagine Ireland versus Dagestan number two? That's a that's a great fight as well. It's not just because it's Ireland versus Dagestan and you've got the whole history. It's a damn good fight. It's two guys in their prime going at it.
Yeah, and of course, there's the tweet right there. Can I read it for a moment? Because Connor did respond to your quote. Paul, my man,
Search and
Paul, my man, I will go to the arena and support 100% for sure. And if it kicks off, I'll be in there before you could even say the Nurmagomedovs are blank, 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 blank. Your team and corner have done a tremendous job with you. They will take you all the way. You've got this. We are with you, brother. Bring home the gold. That's got to feel incredible.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I've said many times, sorry, just my screen badly. As I've said many times, this guy he's the greatest to ever do it. He always will be my fellow countryman. It always feels incredible whenever these sorts of interactions happen, because of course he was such an inspiration for me to to continue in this game and to reach new heights. So yeah, if we can get him in the corner, that would be incredible.
He's not quite as famous as Conor McGregor, but getting close. You met Cristiano Ronaldo on Saturday, and I loved your post about meeting him. Just like, yeah, and to top it all off, here I am with Cristiano Ronaldo. What was that like?
Yeah, that was very, very cool, bro. I was a big United fan as a kid, so grew up watching Ronaldo. To just spend a minute, or not even a minute, but just to get a photo and to meet him is it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It was a nice cherry on top for sure.
Yeah, what are you?
Sorry, there's something funny on that because he came into the arena with during the first round of my fight, and at the stage of the fight, I was on top of AJ in like half guard, but we had just scrambled like big ground and pound, scramble, 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 like a, and we ended up in half guard for a second, and then I thought I started hearing all these boos, and I was like, "Are people booing me because I'm not striking them?" I mean, I just got here. I worked so hard to get here. Then I was like, "Frig sake, I'm gonna need to find some posture and start elbowing them here." And then after the fight, I found out everyone was shouting "Sue"
That's amazing.
in the arena, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank God."
That's hilarious because I was doing a watch along with Tyron Woodley in that moment, and we too were noting, and we're like, "Booze already? This seems
I
a little bit
know.
much." I'm glad that these Saudi fans aren't, as crazy as some of the American fans who start booing when it goes to the ground after 4 seconds. That is, I also noticed, and you referenced this in the post-fight press conference. I think was there someone saying like some kind of chant that is Irish? You said it also in the interview, like I don't want to do it and butcher it, but someone was saying something like a chant or something that you responded to.
It was "Free from Desire." It's just a song, like a soccer chant.
Oh, I know that song,
Um,
"Free from Desire." Na 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 na. But there wasn't like
so
a "oh" or something like that that someone was doing to you.
not that I heard,
Oh,
but
okay.
that was a nice wee note you hit there, I must
No, I
say.
know. I was trying not to do it, but I know there was something that you said. It was some sort of like you said it in the cage on the microphone, and you were like, "Oh, I heard that guy. I heard that guy who kept saying it. Whoever
Oh,
you are."
yeah, that's funny. Anybody that was fighting in these shows would have heard this guy a million times. I think he was on Chris Cyborg's team,
Okay.
and anything I was doing all week, like whether it was a weigh-in, whether it was a photo, whether she just answered a question, he would just go, "Oh,
Okay.
oh." He just shouted the whole time. And I answered a question in the press conference, and then they went to AJ. He answered a question, and your man just went, "Let's go, AJ." Oh, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that guy? Where is he?" And then after I won, then my corner all just started screaming at when I was in the
Okay.
cage.
Now it makes sense. All right. I thought it was an Irish thing, but apparently not. Okay.
Um,
Now it makes sense. Are you in the UAE? Are you going to UFC this weekend?
yeah,
Okay, as a spectator, as a fan.
spectator.
Okay, just to see, just to show them what they could have had, right? Just to be like, you could have been in the
Or I
big
mean,
news business.
like, I mean, I'm going down to enjoy the fights. I'm heading down with Tim, who you're talking to, and Dan, because obviously they manage Max. So the boys have sorted me out, and they're going to go down and enjoy a great night of fights.
Amazing. It's always fun to go to a fight, I would imagine, after you just had your own big fight, you win, and now you could just sit back and chill and enjoy the show, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for it just to literally be a fan, have a couple of pints, and to just enjoy high level MMA, you know?
Incredible. Well, you are a part of that fraternity now. Incredible win, incredible performance. Well done. And I can't wait to see. What do you think, by the way? Last thing, what do you think? How do you think this plays out in 2025? You think the Usman fight happens and then you go tournament?
It's I hope so, but it's got to be Usman next. Like I've heard that it could be very early next year, the date. So I mean that would allow me to potentially do both. As mentioned, it's whatever they want to do. I'm just here for the big fights. I'm here to make money and hopefully keep delivering, you know.
And that would be okay if they say January, February, something like that. You'd be okay with a turnaround like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean not to I know we need to go, but I'm really not that satisfied from the other night. And it's not because yes, I got the job done, but I'm not that satisfied because I didn't go in there at 100%. And I know that if I wasn't so gassed, I would have made it look way better. So I'm not satisfied in that regard because I need to right that wrong and I need to get back in there against someone like Usman and just really, really put in a better performance and to just blow it out of the water this time. No questions asked. Like get the finish and again show like I'm the real deal.
I personally think you have done that already, but I love the challenge that you give to yourself, and I like that you're not settling and you're not happy with what you did. Well done, though. Congratulations, biggest fight, biggest stage, biggest opponent, and you came out flying colors. So congratulations. Enjoy your time over there, and thank you for joining us, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Shit, Ariel, always a pleasure and an honor, and you know yourself.
Yeah, you know yourself. Big news, Paul Hughes with a big win. Yeah, I love it.